All right, so our very last section in this chapter on nutrition for healing and lowering inflammation is dealing with concussions. All right, so first we have to define what a concussion is. So according to the National Athletic Trainers Association, a concussion is defined as a trauma-induced alteration in mental status that may or may not involve loss of consciousness. And they go on to say that concussions can be caused by a bump, a blow, a jolt to the head, or a hit to the body that causes the head and brain to move forward and back quickly. So I do have a handout included under content in this section about Concussions 101. It's a good idea to check that out. So in terms of what you can do nutritionally to help heal concussions, there are 6 key points that I'd like to go over. I have every year probably at least 3 or 4 athletes that come to see me because they've had concussions. So one of the things that's important to realize is that due to the damage to the brain and nervous system, athletes with concussions have higher calorie needs, but they might not feel like eating very much. And so we have to encourage athletes to focus on making sure that they keep their calorie intake up, all right, to meet those increased energy demands due to the damage to the brain and central nervous system. All right, so we also want to make sure that in terms of healing, athletes with their food choices are getting the ones that deliver the most nutrients. And again, if they're not feeling like eating very much, their food choices become that much more important. So we don't want them filling up on empty calorie foods. The food choices need to be very rich in nutrients. And here are some things that can be considered. Creatine. Creatine-rich foods such as lean meats, poultry, and fish are important to include for athletes who have concussions. And that's because creatine can be used to help meet the energy needs of the brain during this time. So we talk to athletes about food first and mention, the best sources. But then also we can discuss whether or not a creatine supplement may or may not be beneficial. That's all on an individualized basis. All right. We want athletes to choose foods and spices that are rich in phytonutrients known as flavonoids. So these are berries, tea, now not sweet tea, but regular tea, turmeric, as we mentioned earlier, and then cinnamon are also important ways to flavor your food that can help with neural recovery, right? And then omega-3s are huge, all right, in terms of helping to heal concussions. So we educate athletes about fish, remember salmon, trout, tuna, great sources of omega-3s. Flax seeds, these are vegetarian sources. Anybody can eat flax seeds though. You can add them to smoothies. You can add them to yogurt parfaits, chia seeds, and walnuts. And again, we can discuss with the athlete whether or not an omega-3 supplement would be beneficial to them. And again, that is on an individualized basis. And then we also want athletes to avoid alcohol at this time because alcohol can interfere with neural recovery. So these are 6 very important nutrition concepts that we want to share with athletes to help get them healed quickly and optimize healing. So that's it for this section. You guys can move on to your video quiz and then your discussion board.